My name is Carly McWilliams, and I did my presentation on why carbohydrates are very important for athletes and how they enhance performance. So carbohydrates and exercise. Carbohydrates are beneficial in improving an athlete's performance. They are broken down into glycogen and in the muscle and are used to give off energy. I wanted to do this topic after hearing a lot about my teammates talk about how they wanted to limit the amount of carbs that they intake in their diet. So I wanted to do research to learn more about how carbohydrates work, how they affect an athlete's performance. So today I'm going to talk about the common myths, the proper nutrition intake, and how it affects an athlete's performance. So a lot of people feel that carbohydrates are the main reason for weight gain. While that can be true, it is all about the type of carbs you intake. People also believe that eating carbs late at night will increase weight gain, and female athletes especially want to stay thin, so they feel like they need to eat low-carb diets, and they feel that that's the best solution and that you will still perform at optimal levels. So here are some reasons that people think carbohydrates are bad, as stated before. So according to the article on guidelines for daily carbohydrate intake, the amount of carbs that gets broken down and put into your muscle as glucose is crucial for optimal performance and determines how long an athlete can stay on the field without fatiguing, as you can see in these pictures. If athletes limit their carbohydrate intake, they'll be more likely to fatigue faster and have a hard time on the field. So good carbs, bad carbs, you want to have good carbs, which are vegetables, fruits, whole grains, etc., and stay away from fast foods, greasy foods, sugary drinks, candy, desserts, etc. So most athletes are not aware that there are good and bad carbs, but also they aren't aware that carbs at night aren't a bad thing. There's people who work out in the morning and can't get up right away and eat, so it's good to actually have carbs at night so that when you first wake up, you're not running on an empty stomach. So after hearing about the common misconceptions about carbs, it's time to talk about the proper nutrition. So athletes should take in about 60 to 65% of carbs. Athletes who do not meet the nutrition requirements for carbs can find themselves feeling lightheaded, dizzy, and could have a headache. Having a well-balanced meal is crucial. So carbs in your diet improve agility, speed, and endurance, which all of these are found in sports. Before working out, you want to make sure you get a good amount of carbs in, 200 to 300 milligrams prior, and to be more specific, it is encouraged that an athlete brings in 0.7 kilograms of carb per kilogram of body weight before an event. So something like apples and peanut butter is good to have. It's not too heavy, and you'll be able to work out and feel fine. After workout, you should intake 1 to 1.5 carbohydrates per kilogram at 2-hour intervals up to 6 hours. So chocolate milk is good, and so is grains. This will decrease the risk of delayed onset muscle soreness and will replenish your body of what you need after working out. So I learned with carbohydrates that it is very important for athletes to intake this, as it's a huge energy booster, and you really need to make sure you bring in enough. And after much research, I know and understand how important it is to intake the proper amount of carbs during season. Also, as said before, carbohydrates play a huge role in increasing an athlete's performance, and now I have a better understanding of what type of carbs to bring in and what is good for an athlete to eat and what are things that aren't good to eat. So low-carb diets for athletes are negatively affect performance because you're more likely to fatigue and not last the whole game. And not all carbs make you gain weight. It depends on what carbs you take in. And here are my references.